Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs. We took flight. Come on. Born in Bondi, so the skies ignite. From the east, our spirits rise. Red, white, blue, our story told. From nothing we rose, made our claim. Eastern pride, we built our name. Stronger now, we never fall. Rooster spirit standing tall. Yeah, come on, feel that pride. Let's go. Since the start, the legacy lives. Passion, power, the heartbeat gives. Red and blue, we walk with pride. Fans by side, can't hide our vibe. Flags up high, crowd in sync. Roosters rule, we never blink. Eastern suburbs. Eastern suburbs. Red, white, and blue, we're flying high. Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs. Roosters! Get up! Feel that pride! Grand on fire, glory set. Fighting with fire, no regrets. Yeah! Every tackle, every try, hit hard.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Sydney Roosters Diehards. It is Haynesy here, delivering your latest Roosters news over the weekend. Welcome to the weekend wrap up. First week out of the way in the books. Hope everyone enjoyed the weekend. Obviously, our first week of the Roosters back in action for 2026. Obviously, we didn't get the job done yesterday against the Tigers, but still a lot to take out of that first trial game there in Newcastle. And our attention now shifts towards next weekend's trial game as we host the Parramatta Eels, who are currently in action right now against the Cronulla Sharks. They're leading 28 points to 6 there at Henson Park. Just side note, how good seeing rugby league first grade level at Henson Park. Obviously, to our Rooster nuts out there, that just sounded so weird then. But anyway, to all our Roosters tragics, I should say, the last time there was a first grade fixture at Henson Park was back in 1990 when we took on the Cronulla Sharks. But you guys know that we had a couple of seasons at Henson Park. Like, you know, it just shows how far we've come, not as a club, as a fan base in 30 odd years. Because, you know, back in the day where, you know, like we were at a stage where we didn't have a lot of fans back then. And obviously, the NRL fans now still think that we don't have no fans, but obviously that's not the case anymore. But we played a lot of games at Henson Park because our low attendance at the footy stadium, and now we're averaging the best in Sydney besides the Bulldogs over the last couple of seasons. So shows how far we've come as a fan base since then. So anyway, side note. But yes, we take on the Parramatta Eels next Saturday night in Gosford. I will be there. We've got some content still coming your way. We still have your regular game day content. My brother Matt, he will be on here. He'll be running you through the live stream watch along and the match reaction, and then I'll have a little bit of a match recap for you guys from outside Polytech Stadium next Saturday night, probably late Saturday night, either Sunday morning. And just a reminder as well, we've got the Sportshed TV charity match next Sunday. That's I'm going to be down in Sydney, obviously, for that. Tickets are still available. Head over to the Sportshed TV page and get your tickets for the charity match. Myself, Leaguey, Retro, all your favorite Roosters content creators and NRL content creators will be in action. So it's obviously raising funds to both Mark Hughes Foundation and the Goanna Academy. So it's a great day, a whole lot of fun. It's just a great day, honestly. And, you know, I really hope that we see you guys out there. Right, so let's get into it. So what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we'll be going through, you know, a little bit of a discussion about following up from yesterday's trial. A little bit of a recap for the lower grades, the junior grades that were in action again yesterday, and a little bit of a recap from the All Stars clash as well. So That's over the next few minutes or so. So thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and subscribe. I got Jason Reed in the live chat. Do they make jerseys big enough for EG? Well, clearly. Yeah, that's actually funny. Yeah, bro, I'm not that big, bro. Come on. All right. I can still look at my toes. I can still bend it. I can still look at my toes. Let's just say that. Okay, so let's get into it. So obviously, we did go down yesterday to the Tigers in their first trial game, and I got to say though, a lot of people were going, reading into it too much. And I think this is just across the board from NRL clubs. I think the only exceptions to this taking it overboard, right, would be the Dragons, because the Dragons somehow, the Dragons somehow yesterday lost to South, and I know the headline's going to be, "Oh, the Dragons lost to a reserve grade South side." Yes, they did, but it's not like St. George played 80 minutes full strength. But still, credit to South, it was a great performance, and St. George were pretty poor yesterday. So I think you'd be going into the trial in the Vegas in a fortnight's time. Bit concerned if you're a Dragons fan, and I think Newcastle as well. But I think at the same time, you don't want to read into, you don't want to really read into trial form a lot. And obviously, a lot of people out there were concerned about the Roosters going into after yesterday's trial. You got to remember, no one really played. Let's be fair, Ninkum. No one from the Roosters played yesterday. That our spine didn't play. Majority of our forward pack didn't play. No, it was basically a reserve grade team with a little bit of first grade experience that played in that first 40 minutes. I don't know how many times. I think, is it just rage bait? I don't know. And then you have people going out and saying, I was like, oh, but the Tigers juniors look great. And they did. The Tigers juniors were fantastic yesterday. And now it's obviously a bit concerned going into the future. You got to remember as well, most of the players that played in that second half played SG ball last year. They're playing under 19s. They're still at a very, very young age. Granted, the Tigers were too. But I'm just more focusing on our side here. Most of them have come through SG ball, Harold Matt's last season, and they're playing in this trial. They played in that trial game yesterday. They've still got another 4 or 5 years of development before they're first grade ready. Some, like a Rex Bassingweight and Toby Rodwell, are a little bit closer than that. But, it takes time. You're not going to be at first grade ready at 19 years of age. So it was their first exposure to it. And, yes, our defense wasn't great. And there's a lot of things they can work on. But, that's the point of these trials. That was the point of having these trials yesterday. For these guys to have that exposure, that taste of a first grade intensity. And, I thought, they were good in stages. That first 40 minutes we were really, really solid. And then the second half, we took everyone off. And the young kids had a crack. And, they played all right. Obviously, a lot of the work on. But, that's the point of these trial games. And I also want to point this out. A lot of Roosters fans and a lot of people out there are reading in the trial games too much. I just want to remind everyone, look what happened last year. Trial before, I've said all week going into this, the result isn't the be all and end all. It is not. Your season isn't going to be shaped up in a trial game. It's not going to be won or lost in a trial game. You want to see positive performances, which we did. We want to see a little bit of a glimpse of what's to come within our football club, which we did. Some was good. Some can be worked on. If you want me to be critical from yesterday, our defense was disappointing in the second half. But that's just a simple fix because it was a second phase footy that caught us out. It wasn't necessarily, obviously, yes, we made 50-odd missed tackles, but it's a trial game in February. There's time for their season hasn't even started either in Jersey Flegg, and so you don't want to read into it too much in the trial games. Look, remember last year, right? We lost 46-10 to Newcastle. Our full strength side lost 46-10 to Newcastle last year. How the seasons play out? Roosters made the top 8. Newcastle, who won 46-10, got the spoon. Does that show you an indication? And I said this last year. Obviously, it wasn't on the Diehards last year because we started in November on YouTube. I said it. I was concerned about Rob Toy's defense. What an idiot statement I said. It was because Bradman best sent him for a bath in that trial game. I'm like, is he ready for first grade? How wrong I was. Because Rob Toy became the best center in the comp last year. Dally M Rookie of the Year. State of Origin winner. Like, you don't read in the trial games. So, that's all I'm going to say about, being critical or negative about yesterday, because it's not really necessary. Let rival fans have their little moments that, the Roosters lost yesterday. How good? Like, does anyone give a fuck? I don't give a fuck we lost yesterday. So, I was happy for what we saw. I was happy that 40-minute period where we had our combinations in place. Looking into the future, Hugo, Toby Rodwell, Sam Walker, there could be the three guys in the halves. That's forward. By the way, I'm watching the trial game as we speak. Benaya, Watto, Reece Robson. Obviously, yeah, we'll get to that shortly anyway. But look at the combination of our spine yesterday. Rex Bassingwaite, Toby Rodwell, Hugo Savala, Benaya. They were great. You could not fault them. Obviously, our right side defense was a bit lacking, but who's going to be there in round one? Rob Toyer, Marky Mark, Simples. Daniel Tupou's going to be on the left edge with Billy Smith and Angus Crichton. Just chill. But, we want to see, in saying that, it will be reassuring for me if we have a decent performance next week. Where the fact that the 40 minutes that our full strength side are probably going to be on the field next week. And obviously come Tuesday, we'll have our team list predicted video and our team list reaction as well. When we name a pretty close to full strength side on Tuesday, they'll play 40 minutes. Tedesco's not playing 80 minutes next week. But in the 40 minutes that they're on, or the time they get, just see that, a little bit of a sharpen up, get them, a bit of match fitness, get that back into them before they go across the ditch a fortnight later. South Seas Jersey Fleek side. Yeah, but still, that was an embarrassing loss if you're a Dragons fan. Newcastle had a lot of injuries. Still, I'm just pointing the picture. You don't read in the trial games. A lot can happen between a trial game and then end of the season. Roosters never started the season well. 2013, we lost the first round, 18 and 9. Yeah, we're traditionally slow starting team, but we're not saying that we're a slow start side either in a trial game. Let the bottom if you're a West Tigers fan, you'd be over the moon. And I've seen a lot of Tigers fans as well going, we're winning the comp. We're winning the comp this year. Dude, you beat us. Congrats in a trial game, dude. And this is the problem with lower grade sides, like teams on the bottom of the ladder the last decade, that they win a game in a trial game. They think this might be their year. They might turn this around. It's a trial game. I don't think, the bottom ladder sides celebrate wins in trial games. That's just the reality of it. Rob wasn't the best center in the comp. He was up there. By far, he was up there. One of the best defensive centers in the comp last year. Go and actually watch Rob Toy play last year. This is Rob Toy's resume last year. When we played the Dogs, the best center in the comp, Stephen Crichton, pocketed in. Latrell in Origin. I remember, all the build-up for Origin 1 was Rob Toy making his debut. He's good, but he's up against Origin Trell. He sat him down too. He was in his rookie season. We've had a lot. Obviously, Roosters fans know what to expect with Rob Toy. We've seen him in the lower grades and how good he's been, and he's shot through the ranks, and he's destined to have a long and pretty famous career at the Roosters. Yeah, Hugo looked really good. Egan Butcher played well. Junior Ponga played well. Yeah, that's the thing. And Lynn as well. First half was incredible for us. like I said, that first 40 minutes was perfect for us. And that's what I wanted to see in that 40 minutes. In the second 40 minutes, we took everyone off and get the young kids to have a run who, had that taste for the first time. And they showed a lot of signs. There were some good signs there. Obviously, there's a lot to work on, but, you got to consider these guys that come on the field after half time were like the age of 18 to 20, around that range. So they've still got another 5 years until they're at their full potential of playing first grade. So, but yeah, in that 40 minutes that we saw, what I was very, very impressed with. And I think Robbo as well would be very pleased with how that 40 minutes played out and gets us a good little indication of the season ahead. Obviously, the All-Stars result as well, a 16-all draw in Hamilton in the All-Stars. I don't know what to feel about it. Obviously, I have, me and a few mates of mine, we have a little bit of a joke about it because of the draw song. And that we like every time there's a draw, we always want to see a draw just to have a little bit of fun and shits and gigs about it. But then you look at the fact, we celebrate the All-Stars, and there's also at times people not criticizing, but ask the question, is the All-Stars game worth it anymore? And then when you get a 16-all draw, you can just tell that it's not taken that seriously from the NRL. But you look at the people involved, like the Indigenous side and the Maori side, that is obviously means a very, very lot to them. It's not the result for them. It's about celebrating their culture. I just thought it was intercept from the scrum. That would have been funny. But yeah, you get to celebrate, all the things that they represent. And then the game itself, it's a great spectacle, and yet it finishes with a draw. It just feels like a downer to the mood. But yeah, all in all, it was a great game. But the reason why I want to talk about the All-Stars, obviously we had two Roosters featured. We had Blake Steep and Connor Watson, both on the score sheet as well. Blake Steep, he was incredible. Obviously, I think Kerb was a late scratching for the Indigenous side, so Blake Steep got the starting role, and he was really, really good. I want to get his stats up for you guys. Blake Steep played in the middle, played the front row. So that might be an indication for Robbo. Obviously, two different coaches, two different sides kind of thing. But, could that be a little bit of an indication that Robbo might see him play in the middle more than a lock? More as a front row replacement. That could be a way we could see that. But, I just want to get his stats up for good old Boyd Steep. There's so many bloody leagues you got to go through to find the All-Stars. Okay, team player stats. Indigenous Blake Steep played 73 minutes, 1 try, 15 hit-ups, 117 meters, 32 post-contact, tackle breaks, 1 line break, 2 offloads, 29 tackles, 1 missed. Really solid outing for Blake Steep today. And, you can tell he's a star going forward. He's getting to that stage now where obviously this is probably this will be his second full season this year. Obviously debuted in 2024, but only played 2 games. That last year was his first proper season, played 23 games last year. He's just getting better and better each week, Boyd Steep. Each year he's getting so much better. We got, it was a very, very good outing for Boyd Steep today. Obviously his first hit out of the season, played in the middle, and was probably the best forward for the Indigenous All-Stars today. And, it was good to see that he's bringing some confidence now from a really good performance, bringing that into the Roosters in maybe next week. Maybe he might get the week off because he played the All-Stars last week. Today, got to fly back from New Zealand. But, who knows? We'll find out on Tuesday. But, I know it's only the All-Stars, but, I generally think that Blake Steep will be finding himself in the 17 this year. Well, in the 19-man bench, 19-man side. So, but he was just, it was incredible, Blake Steep, and it's so good to see. So good to see Blake Steep. Obviously, I know I think he debuted in the All-Stars last year, had a really, really good outing as well. And yeah, just really great outing from him. And Connor Watson, I was more intrigued in Connor Watson today than so yeah, I was more intrigued in Connor Watson today than Blake Steep. I saw that Connor Watson was named at hooker, and I'm thinking, okay, sure, for the sake of the All Stars, he's probably the most established hooker. I don't see Watto playing 9 this year, obviously with Reece Robson. But I wanted to see today him play lock at some stage because we need him to play lock more than we need him to play hooker. It's the same thing with Benaya here. Like, I know we can use Connor Watson in other areas, but like, is this really worth Connor Watson being the out and out like 14 where we could have him starting lock? I think Watto needs to start lock, and I think the best way to fit everyone into this side is Watto the lock. I think Watto should be lock. He did play a really great game today at hooker. 69 tackles. He was enormous today, Connor Watson. I'll get his stats up. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Fantasy point 69. 43 tackles for Connor Watson. I think he only had 1 error. Blake Steep. So did Connor Watson. But yeah. So 12 runs, 98 meters, 26 post contact, 1 line break, 2 offloads, 43 tackles, 1 missed. That's a pretty solid outing from Connor Watson today. It was enormous for Indigenous All-Star as well, but like just how his speed around the ruck can be really used, especially at lock. So, but which brings me obviously great performances from Blake Steep and Connor Watson today. They got on the try scorers list, which was great to see, and we'll see. We'll see them obviously maybe next week. We might see them get a run next week. I expect them to in the red, white, and blue before round 1. But Blake Steep and Connor Watson, they'll be part of the 19 for sure. Watson cooked. Do you think not having Radley will affect us? Nah. We're struggling to fit everyone into the side. We've got so many options, and it's going to get even worse when we get to round 6 or 7 when Victor Radley is available. It's going to be interesting where Robbo plays Victor Radley. Played most of the year last year on the edge. I think that's where he's going to be. I reckon he'll be on the edge, maybe a Siwa or Connor Watson at 13 when Victor returns. There's so many options we can go with, and you can't put a foot wrong either way. Got to be honest though, I hate to be Trent Robinson right now. Going in that we get obviously this week is our final hit out before round 1 in New Zealand, and it'll be very, very interesting to see what is the mindset of Trent Robinson and the coaching staff right now, because we've still got a lot more questions than answers on what our side's going to look like in round 1. Obviously, our backline set, like our 1 to 7 is set. Obviously, DCE, Sam Walker, the halves. Our back 5 sorted. Our front rowers are sorted, the starting front rowers. Obviously, Navahu White, Lindsay, Reece Robson, 9, that's sorted. Left back rower, Angus. Right back rower, probably, obviously a little bit of a, I'd say, probably a little bit of a battle between Siwa and Nat Butcher, but I still probably give the nod to Nat to Siwa Wong. It's from 13, 14, and just trying to fit everyone onto this bench. I think that will be the headache for Trent Robinson. 13, you could, if you go Nat Butcher, then you probably go out of Siwa or Connor Watson. And then you got the 14 of Connor Watson, Benaya, and Hugo Savala. And then you've got trying to fit, Egan Butcher had a great game yesterday. Celeste Fiketti, Blake Steep, Spencer. There's so many options to choose from between. There's so many options that we can put on the 6-man bench. Like we got. I don't know what Robert does. Like, if it was me, I'm still having Hugo as my 14. But, like, you go on yesterday, Benaya played so well in that 40 minutes. You can't leave Benaya out the side. You can't leave Hugo out the side either. And then, like, it's just a mess. It's a good headache to have. Whatever happens, we're not going to be out of place either way. You can't go wrong with what we're going to do. And it's always good. It's good. And me and Leaky spoke about this on the podcast during the week. It is a great selection headache to have. I'd hate to be a coach to make this tough call, but it is great to see this because there's competition for the 6-man bench. And if you don't make the side, you don't make the round one side. Obviously, that's not the end of the world. But like we have the options to do so. We've got options. So if a player goes down, we get the next man up mentality. We've got options there, and they would not be a foot out of place, in my total opinion. So it is a very, very interesting to talk about. But like maybe it might be a way where we see a little bit more of a bit of a rotation between all of them. It wouldn't be out of stray because if a player goes down, then they're ready to go. But I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Like, because I'm still scratching my head. Like, seeing Benaya play well, seeing Hugo play well yesterday, Egan Butcher played well, Nat Butcher, Celeste Fiketti, these guys playing well yesterday, Siwa Wong. Like, Robbo's like, that doesn't leave me any questions. That doesn't leave me any answers. I don't get any benefit. Well, I mean, benefit of them playing well, but like, I don't get it. Like no one's really like they all stood out. There's not like one particular guy that stood out and played well. Everyone did. So, what do we do? Like, I still think Hugo will be our utility player. I generally believe that because he covers more roles. And obviously, Benaya is an out-and-out hooker. And it is criminal to see Benaya not even be thinking about being part of this side. But where? Like, Reece Robson is our 9. Connor Watson's going to be a lock/utility. Hugo Savala is also another one. It is simply just going to be unfair for a few of these guys that are not going to be into this side. And I'm just... The way I see this happening is that Hugo is going to be probably our utility role, and it's going to come to the point where Benaya is he happy at this club? I'm sure he is, but like, considering the fact as well that Watto is 30, time will tell if the crunch time talk arrives because I simply have no idea with this 14 utility. I don't know. After round one, we might get a good indication because we still have no idea. And this is the problem with new rule changes. We simply have no idea how this is going to look like. So, but I'm still leaning towards the 6-man bench is actually very suited for these guys of players like a Hugo Savala. Like I said, the 6-man bench is perfect for Hugo Savala to be a part of because he can cover more roles. Got itchy nose. Sorry, hay fever. It's just terrible conditions up here in Queensland over the weekend. But yeah, like Hugo is a 14. Well, not at the 14, but in this 6-man. So Hugo in this 6-man bench is perfect. Benaya covers one role. Hugo covers multiple. Connor multiple, but like, I don't think Connor should be that guy being the replacement player. Because of, we can use him in other areas. So, yeah, there's a lot of decisions to make. And hopefully we might see, So, obviously, come the weekend against Parramatta, we'll see all of them in action. We'll see come Tuesday what our side looks like. If it's full strength, that gives us a little bit of an indication. And obviously, Robbo will be definitely keeping an eye on this trial game in particular to see how well we see these guys play. I do want to see Hugo play at lock at some point in this trial game. I don't want to see him playing in the halves when DCE and Sam Walker get taken off and we put on Rodwell and Jake Elliott in the halves. I want to see that. I don't want to see Hugo playing. Obviously, because like we know how well Hugo plays in the halves. We saw that yesterday. We've seen him play 40 minutes and a half. Really, really great. I want to see him play lock. Now, if this is true or not, I heard rumors all off season, throughout the preseason, that Hugo has trained the house down at lock. Play him at lock next week. Doesn't matter if it's for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We want to see him play lock, and that gives an indication. I don't want to see Watto playing 9. I want to see him playing lock as well. I think that's what the best way to get out of the trial game next week. But eye for the future, 9 rotation with Robson. Watson will end up moving on. I reckon he's too good to lose for the future. I agree. Like, long-term, Benaya for sure. But, like, Watto's playing well too. Like, that's the problem. Like, you can't, like, move on Watto because he's playing so well. He's playing so well, and we can transition Watto into another position as well. For Kennedy, way too good not to get too much not get time to him, and Boyd sleep like hit like trucks. Yeah, I just said that question wrong, but yeah, like they're long term as well. You know, like there's so many options, and that's a good thing to have at the club, but it's just hard to try and fit them all into one side. Like, it's hard, but it's good to have as well. It's good and bad. Why did we sign Cherry Evans? What Hugo Savala did yesterday shows how good he's going to be in the halves. Yes, like he's a long-term 6. Next year, he's going to be the 6. He is the 6 going like into the next year. I believe that. There is also, time where we can transition him into a 13, which then allows Toby Rodwell to be the next man up as a 6. Like, we're good going long term, but it's just finding the way to get it right. And obviously, I don't think it'd be fair if we just spend the whole year for Hugo Savala playing in this World Cup. He's not good. He's too good to be playing Cup every week. Let's be real. Isn't Robson signed till 2029 or something? Yeah, he is. And he's going to do great guns. We need DCE because we remember our finals run when we need to control the game and no one did. DCE is the answer to that. Yeah, 100%. Like, there is, like, obviously, how the final, in a lot of games last year, there was games there to win and we just didn't nail because of, not blaming anyone, but there's just inexperience in our side last year. And we've come a long way. We've come a long way since last year, from what happened last year in key games against top sides. So, I just remember that was you, Brody, bro. How are you, bro? But exactly right. Like, and actually, there's a quote from Cooper Cronk that I'll read out that gives us a good indication. Like, when Cooper, in relation to this, I was on Fox League yesterday when he was speaking about the move from DC to the Roosters. Obviously, it's very, very similar to Cooper Cronk. Similar to when I made the move over in 2018. It took a while. It took about 2 to 3 months. We were under pressure for the majority of the start of the season, but things started to turn. You just got to stay patient, keep working, and maybe DC is exactly what Sam Walker needs. Like, obviously, we have, always had that weird thing that we always start slow. And, you don't expect us to hit the ground running from round 1. It takes time, build into a season, and then hit the ground running come end of the year. That's the plan, and that's how I expect the season to go. Obviously, you got to stay in touch with the top 4 because, you need the top 4. That is the golden rule to win this competition. You got to be in the top 4. But yeah, like, it's got a lot of similarities to DCE in Cooper Cronk. His game management is going to be very, very important, and obviously we'll get a good indication of what the halves combination might look like. Get a little bit of a rough idea what the style might look like come next week. But I'm not going to see the finished product next week. We're going to see it grand final day and that. So, yeah, still a lot of tough footy to be played, of course. Should White play lock or front row? No, front row. Front row. He should be our front row by far. I think he played lock last year as the third middle. He wasn't a ball playing lock. He was that third front row playing at lock. He's a front row, an out-and-out front row, and that's where it needs to be. If Hugo can ball play like how he played yesterday, he could add some great attack. Sure, 100%. And that's why I'm very... So can Connor Watson too. Like, his ball running today was great. He's obviously... Being a dummy half, you're going to have good service as well. So his ball playing will be good too. So, it's just finding the chemistry's there. It's just finding the right balance. And this is what the trial games are here for. And obviously next week we'll get a good indication for that. If Hugo can, we'll just answer that question. So might leave it there. I just seen this story, bro. I just want to finish up with the junior reps results over the weekend. We'll start off obviously with our main two. SG Ball kicked off with a win. They obviously back-to-back wins to start their premiership defense. And a scrappy 9-8 win against the Illawarra Steelers. Now, Howard Mats were off the mark in 2026 with a 22-12 win over the Steelers in Wollongong yesterday. And our other results, the Central Coast Roosters women's side won 28-6. Our Roosters Indigenous Academy won 32-0. That was both against the Steelers. And a rough day for our, I guess you could say, senior junior side for the Central Coast Roosters. 38-0 loss in the Howard Mats. To Howard Mats. 38-0 against Penrith. And then a 56-6 loss against Penrith in the SG Ball. So, but all look very promising signs from our two main junior sides, the SG Ball and Howard Mats, in particular SG Ball, 2 from 2 to start the year, to start the premiership defense. They're very looking good. Considering the fact that most of them might have been used in the trial games this week, maybe next week as well. So it's always hard when that happens. And also, speaking of trial games, our Jersey Flegg and New South Wales Cup sides combined had a trial game against the Western Suburbs Magpies yesterday. Ended up a 20-all draw at Liverpool. I think it was a 60-minute trial. But obviously, it wasn't televised. Not real information about that at all. And just guys giving you a bit of a heads up on that one. And obviously, the Andrew Johns and Laurie Daly Cup teams had the bye this week, and they'll be back in action next week. SG Ball and Howard Mats are playing next Sunday. I'll let you guys know throughout the week of that time, of course. Okay, I think that might be everything, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I've missed this. I forgot all about this. And get ready to finish up with a bit of an absolute funny way to end. Saw a lot of photos and videos of our Roosters team bus in Newcastle having an absolute Barry Crocker yesterday. At the hotel, the bus got stuck under the car roof, got the bus wedged, and also got one of the buses got stuck in the servo, trying to back up and get out of the servo. Just not a really good day for the Chooks bus driver yesterday. You can't read about it, honestly. Look, bit of a funny story, but obviously the Chooks bus driver might be in a little bit of hot water for that one, but I just saw it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening? Look, it's nothing to really read into, but it's a bit of a funny thing to end. I saw the Roosters media team put a comment on one of the posts about it, and they were saying, was that you, James Tedesco? So they see the funny side of it, of course, which is great. But yeah, nothing to read into. I just wanted to ended up with a little bit of a funny story to end the weekend. So I just thought, dear, they've had a few runners in the past as Roosters bus, I'm telling you. But anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude our weekend wrap up. I hope everyone has enjoyed having the Roosters back on your screens this weekend. Obviously, we're back in action. Same programming as usual next week. We'll continue on tomorrow with our news roundup. Tuesday, team list predictor video in the morning, and then our team list reaction on the Tuesday night. The podcast, Chalk Chat with the league. No, we don't have league. We had league on this week with the Joel from the Ruck Infringement podcast. He'll be on Wednesday. Thursday, Not too sure what we've got planned on Thursday. Might be our rest day. If there's anything major news breaking, we'll cover something. Friday, a match preview, and then Saturday, my brother Matty, he'll be on for your watch along / match reaction on the Saturday into my match recap live from Polytech Stadium in Gosford, and then Sunday back. We'll have a day off on Sunday because of the charity match. I won't be on Sunday. So that will conclude our today's news weekend wrap up. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Hit that like button, subscribe. Follow us on the Instagram and subscribe to my channels, Hainsey_YT. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.